Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. It's been quite the week, Seth Meyers said, the kind of week you would normally post about on Facebook. You may recall Facebook was down earlier in the week. Kimmel said, here's the thing. Facebook is like a pocket knife. You can use it to peel an apple or stab a janitor at school. Kimmel, speaking of destroying America, Mark Zuckerberg is pushing back after the bombshell testimony from a whistleblower who gave Congress insight into what her former employer is up to. Zuckerberg fired back with the longest Facebook post ever recorded. The post was so long, I thought my Aunt Fran wrote it. Kimmel. The whistleblower, Frances Hogan, claimed, among other things, that Facebook prioritizes angry posts. They get the most traction. Zuckerberg rejected those claims in an angry post. Colbert, up until now, Zuckerberg's been silent about the whistleblower revealing that Facebook has misled the public about the negative effects of its platforms on children and teens, especially young girls, and that Facebook's mechanics further the spread of misinformation. That's why I'm not on Facebook. I get my news from a more reliable source. Pantsless guy on the subway, Colbert. Facebook addressed charges that their algorithm encourages conflict, explaining, I don't know any tech company that sets out to build products that make people angry. Really? I do. It's called CNN.com. Why is the video embedded in the article not about the article? If I click a link about the Albuquerque Balloon Festival, I don't want to watch a video where Van Jones sits down with undecided voters after watching the same Humera ad twice. Seth Meyers. And it is, to say the least, not good that what amounts to a global public utility is controlled by one massive secretive international conglomerate. It's like finding out that all the drinking water in the world is controlled by some company called Aquabuds, and it's run by one weird little dude who created the company out of revenge because none of the cute girls at this college would give him a glass of water. Oh, I'll show them who's thirsty now, Courtney. Today's podcast will follow the format of the last few days where I'll do all Chapelle in the second half. But I wanted to lead off with this one because did you watch Game of Thrones? Remember Hodor? Hodor has weighed in on the Dave Chappelle controversy. Sure, why not? Actor Christian Nairn, who played Hodor on Game of Thrones. He was on Robertson Boulevard in Los Angeles on Friday when a TMZ photographer asked Hodor about the Dave Chappelle special. This is the world we live in. Hodor just walking down the boulevard. TMZ's got to harass him and be like, hey, Hodor, what do you think of Dave Chappelle? Really? Leave people alone, man. Hodor said Dave should stay in his lane and not take shots at communities that don't affect him. More Chapelle in the second half. Kim Kardashian hosted Saturday Night Live last night. At least that was the plan. It's not like I record this thing at 3 a.m, folks. I went to bed. I'll talk about SNL tomorrow. But leading up to the episode, assuming it aired, who knows? Maybe something happened at 11:29 and Saturday Night Live didn't happen, in which case you're probably not hearing this. You're hearing the bonus episode, right? I digress. Kim asked for help on her comedy chops. She turned to Dave Chappelle, Ellen DeGeneres, Amy Schumer, and James Corden to help her prepare for the gig. That's a weird mix. Production sources at the NBC program told TMZ the famous funny men and women have been giving Kardashian, quote, tips on what to include in her monologue, how to perform certain skits, and nail comedic delivery. The sources further told TMZ that Kardashian has been, quote, exceeding expectations. Given that she had not had any experience in the comedy world. I will review that tomorrow. Golf.com asked David Spade to rank his comedy dudes. They are Adam Sandler, Chris Rock, and Kevin James. Please rank them from best to worst golfer. David Spade. Spade said, I don't think Rock plays. Sandler just started again, so he's number one. KJ would be a power hitter who can crack the crap out of any ball. Well, David Spade, who would be in your dream celebrity foursome? I assume we're still talking golf here at Golf.com. David Spade said, I already played with Tiger. Tony Romo's probably too good. Most guys are too good. You're going to have to find out who's willing to play with me. Golf.com then changed topics and said, there's a mural of Kurt Cobain that went viral on the internet because clearly it's a painting of you and not Kurt Cobain. Explain. Spade said an artist put it up as a joke on a building in Austria. It has a quote from Neil Young under it. It's the wrong quote on the wrong photo on the wrong person. It did what the artist wanted. People got crazy. So if I ever go to Austria to do stand-up, hopefully I'll have a fan base there. Americans are starting to know who James Acaster is. That's because of Netflix. Brits know James Acaster. He is joining the cast of the new BBC sketch show Lazy Susan. James Acaster, Lou Sanders, and Keel Smith-Bino have joined the cast. Shooting just wrapped on the 4-part series from the Edinburgh Comedy Award nominees Freya Parker and Celeste Dring. It'll air on BBC Three's iPlayer channel next year. So 2 things tonight. This first one, guys, you got to promote stuff. Comedy Central and MTV are teaming up for a live stream today at 5 o'clock in honor of World Mental Health Day. Luckily, the laugh button caught this on Saturday. Comedy Central, promote your stuff. This didn't just pop up. It's not like I don't look for comedy stories every single day. Promote these things. Stand up for your mental health. It'll be streamed on Comedy Central's YouTube channel today, 5 Eastern. Hope you listen to the podcast early enough. It'll be hosted by Hannah Dickinson. It's described as a 30-minute stand-up showcase that will touch on and weave in various mental health topics throughout. The comics include Luke Moniz, Julia Shiplett, Gianmarco Ceresi, Robin Tran, Amina Amani, Gaster Almonte, Lucas O'Neill, Brian Bahe, Alex Kumin, Maddie Ryan, Rebecca O'Neill, Clark Jones, and Kenny DeForest. Again, Comedy Central's YouTube page today. I would have given you more notice if they told me. 5 Eastern. Sounds pretty cool. Also, supposedly tonight, the all-new Halloween-themed episode of Bob's Burgers. Fox is claiming they will air Bob's Burgers at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. Now, I have 2 questions for you. 1, have you ever seen Bob's Burgers? Have you ever actually seen it? The answer is no. Second question, and the more important one, have you ever met anyone who has seen Bob's Burgers? The answer is clearly no. But according to this press release, when a mysterious note is sent to Linda on Halloween, she and Gail must travel to their hometown to face a wrong they committed 27 years ago in the all-new The Pumpkining Halloween-themed episode of Bob's Burgers. Bob's Burgers returns to Fox for its 12th season this fall. Sure it does. The series follows Bob and his ever-quirky family who help him run the restaurant Bob's Burgers. This hoax is incredible. Bob's Burgers was nominated for a 2021 Emmy Award for Outstanding Animated Program. That just proves that the Emmy voters don't even check on this stuff. There's no Bob's Burgers. Have you ever seen Bob's Burgers? Have you ever met anyone who met Bob's Burgers? No. The series has been nominated in the same category every year since 2012. It even won the award twice. Nobody is checking anything. Season 12 will feature its annual holiday-themed episode, as well as all new and returning guest voices, including... yeah, as if all these people are going to do a cartoon. Molly Shannon, Sarah Silverman, Zach Galifianakis, Megan Mullally, Stephen Beatrice, Jenny Slate, Will Forte, and Joe Latruglio. They're supposedly doing a cartoon. Come on. All right, here's your challenge. I defy all of you. Tonight, 9 o'clock, put on your local Fox station. I'm telling you, there's going to be a test pattern up because they know nobody's watching. Everyone's watching Sunday Night Football. What's the game tonight? The Chiefs and the Bills. Patrick Mahomes is like the biggest star in the NFL, and the Bills are 3-1. You think anybody is watching Fox? No one's watching Fox, and Fox knows it. I defy you. Prove to me Bob's Burgers is on your TV. And I don't want a still image. I've got Photoshop too. I want actual video evidence of Bob's Burgers playing on your TV at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. You can hit me on Instagram at Daily Comedy News. Post it on the Facebook group page. I defy all of you. There is no such thing as Bob's Burgers. Back with Chapelle in a second. From XXL, your home for comedy news, comedian actor Michael Blackson is not the biggest fan of fellow comic Dave Chappelle's recent comments about DaBaby killing a man in a new Netflix special. Michael Blackson shared a series of tweets essentially condemning a segment from Chappelle's latest Netflix special, The Closer. Michael Blackson tweeted, Dave Chappelle low-key snitched on DaBaby. Dave Chappelle did not help DaBaby at all. SMHLOL. The LGBT did not know he killed anyone. Now they hate him even more, LOL. LGBT, it was self-defense. The Guardian gave Chappelle 2 stars and said rather than explore the blind spots within modern gender and racial thinking, the comedian's latest special triples down on the phobia. Is there any space left for lightheartedness? Plenty if you're Chappelle's Detroit audience who not only chuckle at, but cheer at his charmless tale of beating up a lesbian in a nightclub. I respect Chappelle's refusal to let matters lie, and one can imagine the good naughty show confronting the blind spots within and between modern gender and racial thinking that his truculence might have engendered. Truculence? But the closer only occasionally gets close. Regarding his transphobia, we find a friend warning Chappelle, careful, Dave, they after you. And Dave says, one they or many theys? I thought that was a pretty funny joke. The Guardian writes, that's amusing enough as a standalone joke, and so too sometimes is the self-irony in which Chappelle drenches his supposed status as a transphobic comedian. Trouble is, the phobic jokes keep coming. They're often plain weak, like the predictable suck my you-know-what punchline to his joke about feminism needing male leadership. There's also much self-regarding commentary on how brave he's being Oh, buddy, I'm in trouble now, says the man who was Emmy nominated for and won America's prestigious Mark Twain Prize after his last round of anti-trans humor. He ends up promising no more jokes about LGBTQ plus people until we're sure we're both laughing together. On this evidence, that may be a long time coming. I've been asking for your thoughts about the special on Instagram at Daily Comedy News or on the Facebook group, which is a Facebook group called Daily Comedy News Podcast. Erin Moore Comedy posted on the Instagram. I'm trans and a comedian. I thought the Daily Beast article was brilliant that I think I read Friday. Also, I can't understand why he feels like he needs to keep commenting on trans issues. Once, maybe twice, but trans rights seems to be the hill he wants to die on for some reason. Is it because he loves the controversy? Is it to sell tickets? Our culture is moving towards acceptance, but he seems to be more than happy to ride directly into the face of that acceptance. Just my 2 cents. P.S. Love the podcast. P.S.S. Bob's Burgers is real. Well, Erin Moore Comedy, I appreciate the comment. I defy you to prove to me tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, that Bob's Burgers is real, because we both know it's not. From people, actress and director Taylor Ashbrook tweeted, as a trans woman, I've usually defended Dave Chappelle's specials because I think they're hilarious, and his jokes about trans women never felt intentionally malicious. The closer changed my mind on that. That special felt so lazy and disingenuous, and I'm really disappointed. Writer Catherine Van Arendonk tweeted, the first thing I did today was watch the new Chappelle special, and I've not been able to shake my annoyance ever since. In a follow-up tweet, everything else aside, and it's hard to set aside, I just have to believe by this point, even the most devoted Chappelle audience would love to hear material on something other than his obsession with trans bodies. Black trans people are feeling Chappelle is completely overlooking them. One Twitter user wrote, this is ignoring how hard DaBaby and Chappelle himself punched down first, but more pertinent is that, again, there's that divide. The thought of a gay or trans black person is foreign to him. We don't exist. We're outside of his experience and therefore a white experience. Another commented, Dave Chappelle spent more time and jokes on gay and trans people than he did white people. The supposed people all his jokes are directed at. This dude has reached Trump-level gaslighting in The Closer. And I'm going to end heavy here on purpose. I saw a series of tweets from @Terrified. Terrified wrote, I work at Netflix. Yesterday, this from October 6th, we launched another Chappelle special where he attacks the trans community and the very validity of transness, all while trying to pit us against other marginalized groups. You're going to hear a lot of talk about offense. We are not offended. Being trans is actually pretty funny if you're someone who actually knows about the subject matter. How could volunteering for a second puberty not be funny? This isn't what he's doing, though. Our existence is funny to him, and we object to his harm. We're offended. The problem is that people are responding to something we never said. We aren't complaining about being offended, and we don't have thin skin. You try going to a pharmacy and having them call you sir in front of everyone while you pick up your estradiol. What we object to is the harm that content like this does to the trans community, especially trans people of color, and very specifically black trans women. People who look like me aren't being killed. I'm a white woman. I get to worry about Starbucks writing Tara on my drink. Skipping down, Terrified tweets, so who does this harm? Why don't we go over the list of some people from the U.S. who aren't offended by Dave Chappelle's special? Tiana Alexander, 28-year-old black trans woman who was shot to death in Chicago on January 6th. Friends said she had good energy. Tiana is not offended. Samuel Edmund Damian Valentine, a trans man, was killed on January 9th in Puerto Rico. He wrote on January 1st about the new year to come and finding justice in it. Samuel is not offended. Bianca Muffin Banks, a black trans woman, was shot to death in Atlanta, Georgia on January 17th, said the founder of a local housing coalition. Muffin was just blossoming into herself. Bianca is not offended. Dominique Jackson, a black trans woman, was shot to death in Jackson, Mississippi on January 25th. She was remembered fondly by friends. Dominique is not offended. Terrified, who is at Reign of Terror, listed off 17 more tweets in the similar vein. That's your comedy news for today. Follow the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your shows. See you tomorrow.